The family was preparing for Roger's 1600th birthday. Steve rushed downstairs. He immediately dropped his pants, announcing he'd grown a single pubic hair. Stan and Francine instantly bolted upstairs. Francine tried packing bags to flee, terrified of facing their child's adolescence. They began recalling memories. Haley hadn't realized tampons were needed monthly. She hurled an entire box at Stan's face.
No!
Nearly overdeveloping one pimple, Haley became utterly distraught. Roger then mocked Haley, prompting Haley to throw him through the window. She even set the house on fire. Francine felt unprepared for Steve's puberty. Francine resisted Steve growing up. Yet Stan wanted Steve to skip adolescence entirely. Suddenly Steve entered, declaring he'd discard all his silly toys. Ready to become a real man, Francine insisted they must intervene, but Stan resigned to accept reality. Francine sought help from a CIA lab. That night, she sneaked into Steve's room, injecting him with an experimental serum. The needle got stuck upon removal. Francine hammered it completely inside. The next day, Steve regressed into a small child. He demanded to know who did this. Francine openly admitted. Steve flew into a rage. Stan quickly calmed him with children's cartoons. Stan condemned Francine's actions. That night as Steve slept, Stan crept into his room and administered another injection. Unexpectedly, Steve transformed into an elderly man.
I think the boys in the lab made a mistake.
And look at my pendulous nads! Every time I walk, it's like a game of kidnap.
The Stan couple's behavior was truly outrageous. Simply dissatisfied with each other's proposed home decor styles, they physically split the house in half, decorating each side completely differently. They openly mocked the opposing side's decor choices.
Hey! Your stupid finger crossed the line! Stay off my side!
Haley was stunned they actually divided the dwelling. Stan insisted it was merely temporary. He began processing rotten fish on his side, turning on a fan to deliberately blow the stench across. Francine watched intensely disgusting programs. Stan was eating his meal, then promptly vomited. In the middle of the night, Stan loudly danced on his portion, eventually building an actual wall down the center. Roger casually painted graffiti on Stan's side. Thanksgiving arrived. Family members gathered on Francine's side for turkey dinner, leaving Stan alone on the opposite side eating canned turkey. Then came Christmas. Family members celebrated on Stan's side, forcing Francine to watch television alone. New Year's followed. Francine counted down with family in front of the television, while Stan watched the countdown by himself. One day, Stan and Francine encountered each other at the mall. They exchanged brief pleasantries, then prepared to go separate ways. Francine suddenly remarked that the paper towels Stan held were unsuitable, specifying exactly the type he actually needed. Back home, while cooking, Stan suddenly heard Francine's voice. Francine missed Stan intensely too. Stan immediately pushed a brick out of the wall. They repeatedly called out each other's names, then decided to tear down the barrier completely. Finally, they broke through the wall, embracing tightly. Unexpectedly, the entire house collapsed. Francine and Stan emerged unharmed, but Roger and his wife fell through the wreckage. Police arrived, suspecting an assault was in progress.
Run, Annabelle!
Stan released a demon. It instantly snatched Steve away. Krampus stuffed Steve into a sack. Stan arrived too late. Krampus demanded Stan's father come see him, then departed immediately. Stan located his father. He confessed Krampus had captured Steve. Jack was utterly shocked. Stan proposed using CIA connections to free Jack, then exchanging Jack for Steve. Jack instantly agreed. They stepped outside. Jack declared he knew where Krampus would take Steve. He insisted on driving himself. Stan handed him the keys directly. Jack then knocked Stan unconscious, stole the car and sped off. Krampus dragged Steve through a castle. He tossed Steve into a cage. Steve warned Krampus to release him immediately. Facing Krampus's threats, Steve remained utterly dismissive, then got his butt spanked. Stan had no idea how to save Steve. Roger suggested seeking Santa's help, but Santa despised the Smith family. Plus they didn't know how to reach the North Pole. Unexpectedly, Roger had a solution. Swimmers lined up swimming in formation. These turned out to be Roger's mounts. They journeyed straight to the North Pole, but got captured by elves instead. They were brought before Santa. Stan announced Krampus had appeared. Santa became furious. Stan pledged to help Santa eliminate Krampus, but needed to rescue Steve first. They successfully formed an alliance.
Come on, Roger.
Just a little longer. I'm almost there.